Hey guys, so I have something to share with you, but I wanted to let you guys know that we have started the visa process for Summit. We've started the visa process for Summit to come to the US, to bring my mom so that she can come here and get more treatment. For over a decade, millions of reality television fans watched them fight against cultural taboos, toxic family feuds, and an 8,000-mile divide. They were the ultimate underdog couple of the 90-day universe, Jenny Slatten and Sumit Singh. But today, away from the glitz of reality, TV cameras and producers, Jenny and Sumit are facing an enemy far more brutal than any internet rumor or family disapproval. Behind closed doors in India, their fairy tale has turned into a race for survival against a terrifying, incurable illness. Today, we unpack the devastating medical crisis threatening to tear them apart and the desperate international effort to save Jenny's life. Last December, 66-year-old Jenny Slatten received news that would instantly shatter her world, transforming an already fragile life into a living nightmare. What began as subtle, easily dismissed physical changes, a slight tremor in her hands, a moment of unsteadiness, a sudden loss of strength, culminated in a terrifying diagnosis, ALS, or amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. It is a cruel, relentless neurodegenerative disease that systematically destroys the body's motor neurons, severing the connection between the brain and the muscles. Overnight, the dynamic of their relationship completely shifted. Sumit went from a reality TV star navigating marital drama to a full-time caregiver watching the woman he loved slowly lose control of her own body. ALS does not pause and it does not negotiate. Today, simple everyday acts that most of us perform without a second thought. Twisting open a bottle of water, buttoning a shirt, or walking across a living room are rapidly slipping away from Jenny. Every morning brings a new struggle. And as her body grows weaker, one heartbreaking truth becomes clearer by the day. Time is no longer on their side. With time rapidly running out in India, Jenny's absolute best chance for specialized medical treatment and life-extending care lies over 8,000 meters away in the United States. Back home, her U.S. medical insurance stands ready to cover the specialized clinical interventions, advanced mobility equipment, and specialized ALS therapies that could grant her precious extra time. But bridging that massive geographic divide has turned into a cruel, seemingly insurmountable obstacle, proving that returning home is far more complex than simply purchasing a plane ticket. In her current advanced state of physical decline, Jenny is far too weak and vulnerable to endure the agonizing physical toll of a multi-leg international long-haul flight entirely on her own. She desperately needs Sumit, the one person who knows her daily routines, monitors her deteriorating motor skills, and provides constant physical support by her side every step of the journey. Yet, the brutal reality of immigration law stands immovable between them. Because standard U.S. spousal green cards and permanent residency visas involve a grueling multi-year administrative processing period, they are operating on a timeline that Jenny's aggressive illness simply will not allow. Every single month spent waiting in administrative limbo is a month where her motor functions continue to degrade. Sumit remains legally barred from stepping foot on American soil, hopelessly trapped in a suffocating web of international diplomatic red tape and bureaucratic delays. As government agencies move at a snail's pace, Jenny's health declines by the day, leaving them locked in an agonizing standoff where every tick of the clock brings her closer to the unthinkable. After weeks of agonizing uncertainty and silence, the silence was finally broken in a dramatic turn of events. On Wednesday, Jenny's daughter, Christina Quas, took to social media to post a critical and deeply personal update on behalf of her mother and Sumit, shedding light on the quiet, high-stakes battle happening behind the scenes. She revealed that Sumit is officially in the high-pressure pipeline of an emergency visa process right in the heart of India. With standard spousal immigration channels taking far too long, The family has been forced to stake everything on a high-risk, desperate bid. Applying for a temporary spousal tourist visa backed by a strict emergency humanitarian waiver. This isn't just a standard visa application filled out in a sterile waiting room. It is a calculated, desperate measure brought on by absolute necessity, armed with thick binders of exhaustive medical documentation, diagnostic scans, and official physician attestations, proving that Sumit is not merely Jenny's husband, but her irreplaceable, round-the-clock primary caregiver. The family is attempting to pull off an administrative miracle. Refusing to let her mother fight this lonely battle from thousands of miles away, Christina is making the grueling journey across the globe directly to India. Her mission is to stand shoulder to shoulder with Sumit at the United States consulate, helping navigate the intricate legal minefield and forcefully advocating on their behalf directly to embassy officials. But she isn't stopping at the consular gates. Driven by the burning urgency of her mother's declining health, Christina is actively launching a public campaign, calling upon lawmakers, congressional representatives, and powerful political figures to step in and grant a humanitarian exception. She is fighting with every ounce of strength she possesses, determined to slash through the stifling government red tape and bring her mother home before the window of opportunity snaps shut forever. As the heartbreaking news of Jenny's devastating diagnosis reverberated across the globe, the reaction from the reality television community was swift, overwhelming, and deeply emotional. Millions of viewers who had spent years watching their tumultuous journey on screen suddenly set aside past opinions, gossip, and reality TV fandom to rally behind the couple in their dark hour of need. In an astonishing display of collective compassion, fans, followers, and empathetic strangers banded together, pouring over $96,000 into crowdfunded donations. This financial lifeline was created to help cushion the crushing blow of immediate medical expenses, day-to-day care costs, and the staggering logistical bills involved in orchestrating an emergency international relocation. For Jenny and Sumit, this groundswell of generosity provided far more than just monetary relief. It delivered a vital emotional anchor in the middle of a raging storm. Surrounded by thousands of heartfelt messages from every corner of the world and backed by the fiercely loyal, constant presence of Jenny's daughters, the couple found the strength to keep fighting. At this stage in their lives, the grand spectacle, the sensational storylines, and the intrusive presence of reality TV production crews have completely fallen away. The flashbulbs are gone, and what remains is stripped down to its rawest human essence. Two people bonded by years of surviving the impossible, holding on to one another as they face the most terrifying trial of their lives. Every resource, every prayer, and every ounce of remaining energy is hyper-focused on one singular, non-negotiable mission: getting Jenny back to America with Sumit safely at her side. Yet, to truly comprehend the profound weight of this fight, to understand why this couple refuses to give up despite a fatal diagnosis, a mountain of red tape and insurmountable odds, we have to look beyond their current tragedy. We must rewind the clock and look back at where this extraordinary, controversial, and deeply complex love story first began. To truly comprehend the fierce, unrelenting loyalty that binds this couple together in the face of a terminal illness today, we have to rewind the clock back to 2012, long before reality TV camera crews ever stepped foot into their lives. Jenny Slatten was a 63-year-old grandmother living a comfortable, quiet life in sunny Palm Springs, California. Her world was completely upended when a notification popped up on her computer screen. A Facebook friend request from a strikingly handsome 24-year-old international male model who called himself Michael Jones. For months, Jenny found herself falling deeply, helplessly in love with this enigmatic young man through long distance messages, late-night phone calls, and sweet promises across a screen. But Michael Jones was nothing more than the elaborate digital illusion. In reality, the person sitting behind the keyboard thousands of miles away in a bustling call center in New Delhi was Sumit Singh. He was an ordinary 24-year-old call center employee who had fabricated an entirely fake persona to escape his own mundane life, catfishing a woman decades his senior from across the globe. When the inevitable moment of reckoning arrived, Sumit finally confessed the truth. Any ordinary person would have been devastated, furious, and blocked his number forever. A deception of that scale usually marks the immediate explosive end of a relationship. But what happened next shocked everyone in Jenny's life and set the stage for one of the most unusual love stories in modern television history. Driven by a connection that transcended the lie, Jenny made the astonishing decision to forgive him completely. She liquidized her savings, sold off her possessions, gave up her apartment, packed her entire life into a few suitcases, and boarded a plane to India to meet the real Sumit face to face. It was a staggering and almost unimaginable leap of faith. One that proved right from the very beginning that Jenny was willing to risk everything, defy logic, and burn bridges for the sake of the man she loved. What followed that fateful leap of faith was more than a decade of relentless, high-octane drama played out in front of millions of fascinated, often horrified television viewers worldwide. The dramatic 30-year age gap alone made them an easy target for harsh societal judgment, harsh online criticism, and endless public ridicule. But the cultural divide was only the surface level of the chaotic storm brewing beneath. Unknown to Jenny, during those early stare-eyed years in India, Sumit was harboring a massive explosive secret that threatened to destroy both of their lives under heavy pressure from his deeply traditional parents and societal expectations. He had been coerced into an arranged marriage with another woman, all while continuing his secret, passionate relationship with Jenny. When the hidden marriage finally came to light, it triggered an absolute landslide of legal, financial, and emotional chaos. What ensued were excruciatingly contentious legal battles, messy court proceedings, and an agonizingly costly divorce process that completely drained Sumit's finances and left their emotional well-being hanging by a thread. Yet the legal nightmare palled in comparison to the vicious war fought within Sumit's own household. Traditional Indian societal norms clashed violently with their unorthodox romance, turning his family into their most vocal and dangerous adversaries. Sumit's parents publicly denounced the relationship, threatening to completely cut him off, strip him of his inheritance, and permanently disown him from the family tree. The hostility reached a terrifying emotional climax during a confrontation that became one of the most notorious moments in reality TV history, when Sumit's mother famously threatened to take her own life on national television if he refused to leave the older American woman. They faced fierce cultural condemnation, intense personal hatred, and isolated exile from the very community Sumit grew up in. Yet, despite every imaginable pressure designed to tear them apart, despite the tears, the screaming matches, the public shame, and the immense psychological toll, Jenny and Sumit stubbornly, fiercely refused to let each other go. Against every single structural, cultural, and emotional odd stacked against them, in August 2021, Jenny and Sumit reached their ultimate breaking point with the outside world. Exhausted by the relentless interference from Sumit's family, weary of the invasive scrutiny from television cameras, and tired of begging for approval that was never going to come, they took a radical leap toward autonomy. They quietly snuck away in utter secrecy, deliberately withholding their plans from his parents, their friends, and the production crew that had tracked their every move. In a deeply intimate traditional Indian ceremony surrounded only by the holy rituals and silent witnesses, they officially tied the knot, exchanging vows and sealing a bond that a decade of relentless chaos had failed to break. For a brief shining moment, it appeared that the star-crossed lovers had finally achieved their impossibly hard-won happily ever after. They had miraculously beaten the cultural odds, survived brutal public mockery, outlasted legal nightmares, and legally, irrevocably bound their lives together. Standing side by side as husband and wife, they had carved out an oasis of peace in a world that had tried everything to tear them apart. Yet, as the immediate high of their secret victory began to settle, the quiet reality of their newfound peace proved tragically temporary off-camera in the shadows beyond the glowing screens and reality TV storylines. Subtle and far more sinister threats were already brewing. Unseen forces that would soon threaten to dismantle the fragile happiness they had sacrificed everything to build. The hard one, quiet sanctuary they had sacrificed over a decade of their lives to build was violently shattered by a nightmare far more cruel and unforgiving than any cultural taboo or family dispute. Out of nowhere, the couple was struck by a catastrophic medical revelation that brought their world to a screeching halt. Jenny was officially diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, a ruthless, rapidly progressive, and fatal neurodegenerative disease that instantly transformed their life together into a heartbreaking countdown. Almost overnight, the vibrant American woman who had moved across the globe for love began suffering a frighteningly swift loss of her physical autonomy. As her body rapidly deteriorated, taking away her mobility and weaponizing even the basic act of speech against her, it became brutally clear that her only fighting chance for quality care and specialized treatment lay thousands of miles away back in the United States under her medical coverage. This cruel turn of fate hurled the couple right back into a high-stakes, agonizing race against time. But this time, the enemy wasn't family drama or public opinion. It was an unwavering medical timer and cold, bureaucratic red tape. Because of Sumit's past visa issues and complex immigration history, he found himself legally barred from easily entering the U.S. To stand by his wife's side, Sumit urgently needed an emergency spousal humanitarian visa, relying on critical medical documentation to prove he was her sole, irreplaceable, full-time caregiver. Yet, as standard international border regulations dragged their feet through endless paperwork and procedural delays, Jenny's failing body simply did not have the luxury of waiting on governmental timelines. In their darkest hour, the fight for Jenny's life became a fiercely united family effort. Refusing to let her mother fight alone in a distant land, Jenny's daughter, Christina Quas, made the agonizing journey to India to join them on the front lines. Acting as a fierce advocate, Christina took on the exhausting task of navigating foreign medical systems, petitioning international authorities, and personally pressing the U.S. consulate to grant Sumit an expedited emergency tourist visa so he could escort his wife home. At the same time, the tragic news sent shockwaves through the global fan base that had watched their turbulent love story unfold over the years. Overcoming years of skepticism, thousands of strangers transformed from mere reality TV viewers into a passionate lifeline, raising over $96,000 through online fundraisers to cover the staggering expenses of mounting medical bills, specialized care, and private transport. Now stripped of all the producer-driven drama, reality television glitz, and online gossip that had defined their public image for over a decade, Jenny and Sumit find themselves locked in the most harrowing, authentic chapter of their lives. A heartbreaking, raw, and desperate struggle against a devastating disease, rigid international borders, and the unforgiving tick of the clock. From a secretive online romance shrouded in deception to an unprecedented decadal-long battle against cultural taboos, family fury, and international borders, Jenny and Sumit proved to the world that their love was far more than a passing reality TV storyline. But today, their fight is no longer about proving the doubters wrong or seeking the approval of others. It is a deeply heartbreaking daily struggle for survival, human dignity, and the simple right to hold each other's hand through the darkest valley of their lives. As Sumit fights to stay by Jenny's side and Christina pushes through every legal barrier to bring her mother home, their story serves as a tragic, powerful testament to how far true devotion will go when time is running out. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss an update on their journey. Leave a comment below sharing your thoughts, prayers, or words of encouragement for Jenny, Sumit, and their family during this unimaginably difficult time. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next story.